Hey, welcome back to the channel. So it's the last day of Master League Season 0 and I want to recap everything that we have learned so far. But to show you that I am a free-to-play player that managed to get 167,000 points in here, I'm gonna show you like all of my pulls here. Like I only pulled this Zeta Gundam banner 90 times, and then I never pulled on this one, and then the premium unit assembly 174 times, and I also pulled only like 70 times on the Strike Freedom banner, and I got a lot of luck, in the premium unit assembly and also the Zeta Gundam banner, but I didn't get any luck on the Strike Freedom banner. And here I am, not spending a single cent on this game, a purely free-to-play players, and this is all the Gundams that I got. So I consider myself as lucky, but in this video, I'm gonna guide you that it's still possible if you don't have all of this unit, because for most of these units, like I don't use more than half of these UR units. It's mostly the MVP in this lineup for my Master League is the Gundam GQ, Psycho Gundam. And then after that, DO is very, very strong. Like it is a support Gundam, a support unit that has high HP and also high attack, because the pilot is a very unique pilot, and it's kind of hard to replace Peptimus Sirocco, because this guy have an ability that increases his attack if he use a support attack or counter. Like it's different with other support Gundam. I mean support pilot. Like here, Asuna here reduce EN consumption by 20%. Most of the supporter pilot have EN reduction, but not for Sirocco. Like this guy increase his attack. So I can still deal high damage while countering the enemy units, and which is the strategy that you are supposed to use in here. And if you do want to see, like, this is my Gundams, like it is not upgraded to full. I only increased their weapon level to level 4, and the EX I only stop at 3. Why? Because to upgrade the EX further, I need this material, which is a very, very rare material. Like you only be able to get this in certain shop, and it is limited. Like you can only buy certain amount every month. So I've been saving it for the case where I decided to actually focus on a single unit. But right now I still haven't got my unit yet, so that's why I'm still saving up my materials here. So you can already see that it is not fully upgraded. The modification also is using a standard one. So here only the DPS have 5 weapon level, and still the EX skill is still at level 3. And for Gundams, for units that I don't use, it's only I only increase the level of the EX skill, and every single other skills are at level 1. So you can already see here that the Gundams that I don't use and the Gundams that I actually use. So, like for example here, there is also the rules for every gacha games. Like for example, the Barbatus here, it is a UR tank Gundam, and it has 7,500 defense. So if you compare this with my Gundam GQ in here, my Gundam GQ have 8,900 defense. So as per every single gacha games, the rules are still the same. A 3-star SSR units are always stronger than a 0-star UR units. So if you're a free-to-play players, like you don't think that you need UR units to win. If it is only at 0-star, it's useless. Like your SSR is still stronger, but to make your SSR even stronger than UR units, you definitely need to upgrade them, especially the limit break. Like the limit break also dependent on your luck. So here, if you do want to limit break your Gundam without depending on luck, you can use material like this one, the SSR unit limit break material, but it is also kind of rare. Like you need to actually buy this, so it is much more pricey to upgrade an SSR unit to be stronger than a UR unit, because also if you want to level this up to level 100, you need the SP conversion chips, which is also a rare thing. So it is, like I said, it is more costly to upgrade SSR units rather than just using your UR units, but it doesn't stop you from using them at only level 89. Like, look at this. My Psycho Gundam is at level 89 and it has 9,200 defense. So if you have a UR units and you are as a free-to-play players like myself here, you see like all these Gundams, not all of them I'm using them in my Master League. Like only the 2 stars and 1 stars are actually worth bringing into the Master League. And the best benefit of getting all those UR units are the pilots. The pilots, because they don't have any, like, you know, limit break and then the SP conversion, etc., etc. Like the UR pilots are always going to be stronger than the SSR pilots, because the SSR pilot cannot be upgraded further than level 90, while the UR pilot can be upgraded to level 100 while also having a better character skills and ability. So to make the best out of your Gundams, it is best to put UR pilots on an SSR units. That is how a free-to-play players play. Okay. So you can see here, I haven't used any SP conversion. I haven't used any limit break. I actually used my limit break for this one for Gundam GQ. You know, I used both limit break for my Gundam GQ to get him to 3-star, and I didn't even use the super like the ultimate units. Like here, my Super Hyperion is still SSR. I never upgrade any ultimate units because it's also a limited material to upgrade them. So I haven't decided on which one is good. And while everybody is using the Super Hyperion, he is really good. Don't get me wrong. But for me, because I'm trying to save materials, I feel it's enough to use Gundam GQ and Psycho Gundam, and I don't feel the need to use Super Hyperion, so I'm saving that. And look at what it gives me. Like I managed to reach 167,000 points in Master League Season 0. Now, also another thing that is very important is the supporters here. I'm also getting really lucky with the supporters, but the way to decide which Gundam to use, it all depends on your supporter here. Like for example, my best supporter for PvP is actually Bichao. Like in here, you do want to have a HP restoration support skills rather than the EN restoration, because EN restoration is only ever useful if you run out of EN while in PvE stages where you fight like a lot of enemies. But in PvP you only fight 5 enemies, so there is no way you're gonna run out of EN. So this HP restoration is a PvP supporter. And look out for the leader skills here. So I have tough as nails in here, and this is how I decide which Gundam to use, because you do want to get as many Gundams to be boosted by your mothership as possible. And by picking up all these Gundams, I make sure that all of the Gundams that I bring get an all stats increase by 25%. You will see later that this is very important in the Master League. And if you can get all 5 Gundams using these leader skills, the same leader skills, then that's it. Your Gundams are all gonna be really strong. And hence why Lacus, the supporter for Seed Gundam units, are very popular, because the strike freedom, the justice, and the SR freedoms are all among the Seed series, and they all got upgraded by Lacus, which is like one of the best supporter mothership out there, because he increased the stats of one-shot killer. So aside from the Seed series, you can also use other Gundams using that supporter mothership, because the one-shot killer, where is it? The one-shot killer actually covers a whole lot range of DPS units. Like look at this, the one-shot killer. Now this is why it's very important to choose your supporter. Like you have a lot, like there is freedom here, there is justice, this is freedom, there is strike freedom, this is the Super Hyperion, the Sasabi is a striker custom, aerial, and then the Hyperion is also here, Geminas is here, Wing Gundam is here, you know, all the good Gundams are here. So hence why the meta units are as it is, like all the freedoms are everywhere in the Master League. But as you can see, I don't have any of those meta units, so I need to be creative. And how to do that is to go to the Master League here and actually do your formation. So when you are building up your formation here, look at this. This is the Gundams that I use. So I usually rotate around these Gundams, like the DO, Lesigne, Aerial, Psycho Gundam, Zeta Gundam, and then the new Gundam, and then Sazabi, and then Barbatus, and Gundam GQ, and also the Psycho Gundam there is there. Yes, those are all the Gundams that I use. Because if you do want to deal high damage to the enemy, because all of your enemies gonna be at limit break 3, like all of them, especially if you do want to aim as high points as possible, then that means that they're gonna have high HP, they're gonna have higher mobility than yours, and they're gonna have higher attack than yours. So the tank's job is to just take 1 or 2 hit from your enemy. That's their job. So whether you use Psycho, whether you use Hyperion, whether you use Gundam GQ, you just rotate between them, and which one can hold more damage. Like if the enemy deals like 200,000 damage, then no matter what Gundam you use, like I can just use Zaku level 1 and they're gonna perform the same. They're gonna just block 1 hit from the enemy and that's it. It doesn't matter which tank you use. But as the DPS, because the enemy have high HP, there is also no way for you to just one-shot your enemy. So you need to be creative. You need to use as many supporter units as possible. Because by using supporter unit, you can attack your enemy together. By attacking your enemy together, like if my Sazabi deal only 1/3 of the enemy HP, my Aerial 1/3 of the enemy HP, and my DO deal 1/3 of the enemy's HP, then I can kill the limit break 3 strike freedom. You know, so that's how you can kill a stronger enemy than yours. And how to make that possible is by luring your enemy in. So if you want to see here, if you choose your opponent, you can see that they show you the position of their enemy. Look at this: position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 5. So I can see here that the strike freedom is at position 5. Now to decide where I'm gonna put my trap is to see the opposite of that position 5, which is the same position 5 too. So when I go to the formation in here, the Zeta Gundam here is on position 5 here, and the AI will aim for the lowest HP that they can possibly reach. So when you rearrange here, you can see the battle deployment here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and because you are on the right side of the screen, that means that 3 is actually on top position, and 2 is at bottom position, and then 5 is on top, and 4 is at the bottom. Now, if the enemy strike freedom is at position 5, that means that he is right in the same position as my Zeta Gundam, which is on the 5. So when it moves, because strike freedom usually have the highest mobility, especially if they are at limit break 3, then they gonna choose, like the AI gonna choose, like if they move five squares in front, who can they hit? Like usually they can hit position 1, 3, and 5. So among these 3, which one have the lowest HP? And obviously, if you see here, like number 1 here is my DO. It has 119,000 HP. The position 3 is Aerial. It has 106,000 HP. And my Zeta Gundam here is at 85,000 HP. So the AI will definitely gonna go all the way in and try to hit my position 5. And it is the advantage that I'm gonna talk about, because as a weaker player, that means that your enemy gonna move all of them gonna move first before any of your unit moves. So that means that if the enemy tank have like the very very low mobility, usually the tank have the lowest mobility, then they're gonna move less. And because they're gonna move last, all of their DPS units are going to go all the way trying to hit my backline, my Zeta Gundam, the weakest unit in my lineup, and they actually move further away from their tank. That will make them very vulnerable to your counter attack. So when the Strike Freedom try to hit my Zeta Gundam, my DO and my Aerial gonna support counter together with my Zeta Gundam to kill that Strike Freedom. Like I said, if I can even manage to deal like half of the enemy health, then that is already good enough. 2 of my units gonna attack together and kill that target. And by using 3, it makes sure that any units, as long as it is not a tank, gonna die. So this tank, the purpose of this tank is to just take the hit for my Zeta Gundam, so the next time the enemy second DPS move, my Zeta Gundam still can survive the attack. So if my Zeta Gundam, if my Psycho Gundam die in one hit, that means that the Psycho Gundam gonna block the attack, die, and then if the enemy second DPS move, like for example here, the one that has like 3-star is the EZ8 Gundam, but this is usually a slow Gundam. This is a slow mobility Gundam. The next one that gonna move is most likely gonna be Sazabi in here, because Unicorn is also a melee unit which has a slow mobility. So Sazabi is most likely gonna be the second unit to move. So Sazabi is at position 4. That means that Sazabi is in here. So he is right here. So if my Psycho Gundam is still alive, that means that he already took the damage for my Zeta Gundam, then the Sazabi gonna try to hit my Psycho Gundam, which is at position 4. And if he manages to kill it, which is most likely gonna happen because it already took a hit from a Strike Freedom, then it's gonna take a bonus turn and try to hit my Zeta Gundam again. So if my Zeta Gundam can survive that hit, that means that the Sazabi gonna get countered again by my DO, my Aerial, and my Zeta Gundam. That's how the AI works, because we also have 2 support counters using the UR supporter pilot. Now, if my Psycho Gundam is already dead at position 4, that means that Sazabi gonna check. He can reach number 2 and number 1. That means that among number 2 and number 1, which one has a lower HP, which is in my case is Leshigna. So the Sazabi gonna try to hit my Leshigna there. And if my DO have high range, that means that my DO gonna support counter, because most of the time the enemy also, like for this example, the enemy is 1-star Sazabi. That means that it most likely doesn't have the attack to one-shot my 2-star Leshigna. It's a different case for a Strike Freedom, because it is a 3-star. Most likely you can just one-shot anything. But Sazabi, most likely I can take the hit and my Leshigna gonna survive. And that's also the point of trying to use a counterattack, because when the enemy is the first one to move, they're gonna attack you if they only deal like half health. Like there's no difference when the enemy deal like 50% damage, 60% damage, 70% damage, 80% damage, 90% damage. As long as you have at least 1 HP to survive, you still need to get hit twice by the enemy to die. Now, if I can survive, if I have a healer, a supporter here, mothership supporter, that means that I can heal my unit to try to survive another hit the next time they get hit. But as long as I can survive the initial hit, that means that I'm gonna counterattack that enemy. As long as I don't use defense to survive that hit, then I'm gonna counterattack that enemy, hopefully dealing like 50% of their HP. At the very least, if I can deal 50% of their HP, that means that the next hit that I gonna use to them is going to kill that unit, you know. So there's no difference between like dealing high damage or low damage, as long as the enemy survive in less than 50% HP. That means that you gonna need to use 2 hits to kill that unit. So that's why this game is still possible for a free-to-play players to actually kill a stronger enemy, because both of you have units that can take at least 2 hits. So that's why the order of attacking is if the enemy attack you, you counter attack them, both of you are sitting at less than 50% HP, then the next turn is going to be your turn. If you are the one who attacks your enemy, that means that the enemy will die first and they don't have a chance to counter attack you. So that's why moving second in this PvP series is actually an advantage. And how to play around with that, like there's a strategy that I use in here by leveling up the unit only to level 99, means that if I meet another aerial Gundam with the same limit break, like 2-star limit break, the same pilot, and the same modification, that means that because I have one level less than them, I will have lower mobility than their aerial. So their aerial gonna move first and then followed by my aerial, because it will be right behind, because I only have a very little difference in mobility compared to their aerial, which makes sure that I will move right after their DPS but before their tank manages to move. Because like I said just now, if the enemy move first, they're gonna move away from their tank to to the front, and if you can move before that tank even move, that means that all of their DPS is going to die because of your attack. But if the enemy tank manages to move, then the enemy tank will be at the front and you lose your chance into killing any of them, especially if the tank have 2 support defense. Now, because I'm a free-to-play player, I do tend to avoid that kind of scenario, especially if the enemy have like 3-star Barbatus, 3-star Justice Gundam. Like there's no way with these free-to-play units that I will be able to kill them before their DPS manage to flatten all of my units. So you just gotta have to see and decide yourself whether it is still possible for you to kill the enemy or not. If you see that the enemy tank is very, very slow, they are the last one to move, then you still have a chance. And to play around with the mobility, of course, you can change the pilot, because the decision of which one moves first depends on the unit's mobility and also the pilot's reaction. So you can change around the pilot to play around with their mobility and then the modification also, but also because of the supporters in here. Look at this. Like if I use this Bichao like as a supporter, that means that he gonna buff up my DO and my Psycho Gundam, which for Psycho Gundam is a good choice if you can try to survive getting hit 2 times. So if let's say the enemy strike freedom before I use Bichao, like let's say I use this supporter, then my Psycho Gundam die in 1 hit by the strike freedom. If I choose Bichao, the Psycho Gundam get 25% HP increase. So if by using this my Psycho Gundam is able to survive the strike freedom damage, that means that I can take another hit from their second DPS. And also depending on the situation, like I said just now, if my Psycho Gundam survive, that means that their second DPS, if they're in the position right in front of my Psycho Gundam, then they're gonna hit the Psycho Gundam, which gonna give them a bonus turn, and the next time they're gonna hit my DPS without me having any tank. But so sometimes it's good to just kill your tank, but the DO in here, because he also get boosted by 25% on all stats, that means that my DO also have high mobility. That means that it is most likely in my lineup, DO is gonna be the first one to move if I use these supporters. So whether it is a good decision to make him move first or not depends on your enemy. Like for example, if the enemy DPS move first, and then because I buff my DO and my DO move before the enemy DPS, the other enemy DPS move, that means my DO gonna be the one running away from my tank, and he gonna go in front of all the enemy units, and my DO will definitely gonna die. So being slow have its advantage. Now to play around with this, you can sometimes use like these supporters, like increase the stats of these Gundams. Like for example, if your Zeta Gundam died in 1 hit, that means that you do want to increase the HP of your Zeta Gundam. And by doing this, then your Lesigna and your Aerial gonna have an extra mobility, an extra attack. So play around with your supporter. You know, the boost in all stats here is very, very important. And also because the PvP have this stage and boost. So right now in this season 0, the boost goes into the protagonist and rival, and it also increases their stats by 20%. So if you use the protagonist and rival units, that means that you do have an advantage, and I do recommend you to just follow this. So you do not want, by learning from this season 0 Master League, like you think that, oh, Strike Freedom is so meta, I'm gonna aim to upgrade him, all the Strike Freedom, Lacus, the Justice Gundam, the Freedom, blah blah blah, so that I can win in season 1. No, in season 1 the boost gonna be different, so there's definitely gonna be a totally different meta. So just hold on to your materials. Do not upgrade them first, and wait until the season 1 comes out and you know which stage it is and which boost it is. Like sometimes if the stage is gonna be in the air, that means that a lot of Gundams are not gonna be usable. So if at that point you already upgrade a Gundam that can only be used like in land or in space, then you are fucked. You cannot use that Gundam at all. So this one also affects, this one gonna affect your mobility. So depending on the Gundam that you use, you can play around with their mobility. You will know which one moves first and which one moves last. And I like to try to spend one attempt usually to go and see the enemy order of movement. So I just go put a random Gundam in here, like usually, yeah, just put like this, and then I see which one move first, second, third, fourth, and fifth on the enemy. So I memorize that. I even like, you know, keep watching the replay, see like, do I need to increase a little bit of DO mobility? Do I need to slow down my aerial? Do I need to increase the HP of my Psycho? Is my Zeta Gundam able to survive the enemy hit? Blah blah blah. All those things will decide, like, do I need to change their modification? Do I need to change their position? Can I change the supporters to increase their stats and everything? That's the only thing that you can affect in this PvP, because after you press this attempt, then the AI will do the job for you. So, but if you don't change the lineup, most of the time the AI will always follow the same pattern. The first one to get hit is gonna be the Gundam with the lowest HP. The enemy is gonna try to hit the Gundam with the lowest HP, and the choice of your tanker, like if let's say I have an extra tanker here, like I'm gonna change this and put, for example, this one, the the tank, like this. Now, when let's say my Zeta Gundam get attacked by the enemy, the AI gonna decide whether the Psycho Gundam or the Barbatus have higher defense. The one with higher defense and the higher HP, I forgot which one is that. Is it the higher defense or higher HP? But usually the one that is stronger gonna be the first one to take the hit. That's how the AI works. Now, another thing is that, what is it? If you do want to play around with that, like I said, you can just change your supporters. Like for example, I'm gonna change my supporters to increase the stats of my Barbatus. So now my Barbatus is gonna be the one to take the hit for Zeta instead of my Psycho Gundam. You can also change the pilot to do that. And if let's say your Barbatus or your Psycho is the first one to take the hit for my Zeta Gundam, and it is Strike Freedom, like 3-star Strike Freedom, who's gonna attack my Zeta, no matter what I use in here, it's gonna die and to take the hit of my Zeta Gundam. So I rather use my Mikazuki on the Barbatus and Char on the Psycho, because then my surviving tank will have to support defense instead of wasting 2 support defense for a unit that will definitely die in 1 hit. So that's how you play around with the formations in here. Now to show you the actual battle, like I'm gonna show you a replay of my last battle in this Master League. Like this is the battle to against the highest score player in here, the highest CP. Now I'm gonna run you down of my strategy in here. So look at this. Now, my DO is in position 1, my last signal is in position 3, my new Gundam is in position 2. I think that's correct, right? Let me check the bets for the rearrange again. Yes. My DO is in position 1, my new Gundam in position 2, my last signal in position 3, and then my Psycho in position 4, and my Zeta Gundam in position 5. So you can see that the enemy will have the same position. Like I said, this one position 1, this is position 2, this is position 3, this is position 4, and this is position 5. So if you see that the strike freedom is in position 5, put your trap in position 5. And you can see who among their units move second, and you can try to adjust accordingly. So you can see here that the enemy who moved first is the strike freedom, and like I said, if it can reach my Zeta Gundam, it will definitely gonna attack my Zeta Gundam. So my Psycho Gundam take the hit, so look at that, my Psycho Gundam die. So no matter what I use in here, any tank will do. And the most important is that it takes the hit for my Zeta Gundam. Now, my counter support gonna hit 3 times, so this is a limit break 3 strike freedom. No matter how strong they are, if it is a DPS unit, they gotta die if you hit them 3 times in one turn. So now the second Gundam that moves is actually just this Gundam in here. So I did see a chance into winning this. I didn't re-roll this player because by letting the Justice Gundam move, it moves to the bottom of the arena here. It tried to hit my new Gundam. Now the Zasabi goes to finish up the job, but by doing so, it gets a bonus turn and it moves again to Zeta Gundam because it has the lowest HP. Like just now, because my new Gundam have low HP, then Sasabi decided to kill it first before it goes to the next lowest HP in my lineup. Now, because it goes to my Zeta Gundam in here, I can survive that hit. Like I said, usually your DPS can survive 2 hits, except if it gets hit by a strike freedom, hence why you want to use the tank. Now, if you can survive, even if with like very low HP like this, you can use your supporter unit to kill the enemy unit together with your DPS like this. So by moving next here, now the Justice is at the bottom, so I am free to hit the enemy backline next. Hence why I saw the opportunity here and try to just keep hitting this guy. Now my DO went in and tried to finish the job, but the enemy still survived. So my DO is actually in a very bad position in here, right in the front. So every single one of the enemy will try to hit DO because these 2 melee unit, not melee, but very slow unit, cannot reach my Zeta Gundam at the back, and my Zeta Gundam move last in here, so that's why they're gonna try to kill my DO. But luckily in this scenario, my DO get very lucky. So if you see the opportunity, you can always keep trying and try to get a dodge here, because a dodge is always a chance. So if you are lucky, you can dodge the enemy attack, and also if you hit the enemy and miss, you can try again to see whether you can hit them the next time, and it will totally change the whether you are winning or losing, because missing a single hit means a lot in here. You are actually wasting a single turn and letting your enemy get an advantage over you with that just one turn. So that's why positioning in this game is very important. And now my Zeta Gundam comes to finish up the job. But by this time, because the Easy 8 Gundam here is too close to Justice Gundam, so I need to get rid of this Justice Gundam first. But by this time, I'm already having a lot of advantage here, and I should be able to try to win this. And hence why I'm also getting lucky in here and get another miss. So yeah, luck also plays an important role in here, hence why I managed to get to 167,000 points as a free-to-play player. But again, the strategy is always the same. You try to trap your enemy, counter-attack them with as many damage as possible, and then you try to get lucky. If you see there is no chance on winning this battle at all, that means that you definitely want to re-roll the enemy player and try to get lucky next time. See, so that's all of the tips and tricks that I can showcase to you. And to prepare you for the next season, try to hold on to your materials. Don't waste them, too much. And we will see what comes out in the next season. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.